What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Nerd Castle. I hope you're having a great day today, and are you ready for a bit more Sang Froid? So let's jump straight in with December 20th of 1858, and let's figure out what's going on with the storyline. We got a full moon tonight, and I'll explain this mission more as we get to it, so let's go! It did that thing again. Sometimes you get storyline, sometimes you don't. Well then. Since we're following a pattern here, let's go ahead and, yeah, there's the good luck pets right there with the mouse. Just a double long one for this one. And so it's December the 19th, well, chapter 26, Love and Hate, December 20th, 1858.
So you want me to recast this old piece of saw blade into an axe? You sure don't do nothing like other folks, you O'Carrolls. Come back tomorrow, it should be ready. I won't charge you a penny. Since you saved my daughter's life, it's the least I can do.
Mishtamecheshu, where were you? The tribe has been looking for you for days. Why didn't you help the sons of Maniwepikwan as I ordered you to?
I consulted the Mikan ancestors. Josephine will be useless to us.
The Wendigos that flooded our lands killed many of our people, as well as whites. How can you trust such a hot-headed people?
Only the Mikans have the knowledge and the power to defeat the invisible beast that is coming.
Only Maniwepikwan prophesies the coming of the invisible beast. Only Josephine, her daughter, will be able to save us.
In that case, Uzi Mashk, I will go into exile because I refuse to die for your foolishness.
Listening to the teachings of Maniwepikwan and the ancestors can never be foolishness. Turning away from it as you are doing now is pure folly. Go, shaman. The tribe of the Inuit will be safer without your influence.
Well, sometimes you gotta toss somebody out. I'd be pretty grumpy too if I was like the ultimate king of the natives, and then somebody was just like, I'm not gonna do what you say. I'd be like, well, you kind of have to, man. So this situation here, let's take a look at the overall configuration of everything here, and obviously we don't want that to happen. So first and foremost, we don't want this to happen at all. But the things you'll notice about this, and I know there's an extra AP being lost right there, sometimes I don't care enough about 1 AP to keep fiddling with it. I will if we end up being like at 9 AP, but what we want is for him to go all the way around. And so we're going to block this entire grouping of stuff. And that's going to allow us, actually, let's see what we can do here. I would prefer that everybody be in the same spot, so I may have to addend this plan later, unfortunately. I don't see any further dots or anything. What I want is for this entire group to be coming through the same area, and so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to block off these two right here. There we are. And now that they're blocked, this should force them into here, and we're going to do this the old-fashioned way with explosives. And so I'm just going to put a barrel right here. We're going to shout the second the enemies get around, and then we're just going to blow them up, and that's going to be that. For wave number 2, let's take a look around. We've got ourselves a problem here. We're going to have to deal with him. And that is not going to... That's actually going to be a little bit of luck-based right here. We've got these guys going to the... God, these guys are going to the church, and so we're going to want to consider being up by the church to deal with them, unfortunately. I mean, we may have the time to deal with this. God. This one's going to be unique, because the second we get done here, we're going to fly back over here. If I can do something really talented, let's see which way he's going to take to get there. If I want to be, like, really badass about this whole thing, if I can get back over here quickly enough, I can actually take the shot at him before we actually have to deal with it, but dealing with these guys, we're going to need a little bit of extra time. And so what I would consider is forcing them to go the long way somehow. And this is probably going to interfere with later waves, unfortunately. Oh, maybe not. The later waves actually appear to not be that bad. So we're going to need a wayward cross for them, and they're headed to here. What path are they going to take? Okay, so they're going to take a somewhat short path to get there. Wave 4, everybody's going to the tree in this wave as well, so honestly, it's not even that big of a deal. By then, I think our shout should be back up. So what I'm going to do is we'll put... Let's see here. Oh, those are normal wolves. Okay, well then we don't even need to worry about it. What we'll do is we'll put a gather bait right here, another gather bait right there, and a final gather bait right here where we will drop another crate of explosives. Because explosives are our friends. It's almost July 4th here in the United States, and if there's one thing that the that the July 4th Independence Day has taught us is that we have the right to declare independence from our fingers with explosives and alcohol combined in the most dangerous and sinister of fashions. Now, I don't think, yeah, he's going to go through there. We want them all coming the same way, so I'll block that off real quickly. And so actually this mission doesn't seem so bad on the surface. Now that wave. This wave is going to be fun because this is a lot of individuals who need to be dealt with one by one, and if you look, every single one of them is going to a different location. This is the developer's way of testing whether you know what you're doing, and because this guy is entering into such a large area, I'm going to put a bait right here. And what that's going to do for me is it's going to allow me to put down a wolf trap, which I rarely use wolf traps, but in this situation I am going to use them quite a bit. What we'll do here is put down another bait. And the way you want to bait these, if you have two enemies, is you want to put one right here on this side of the bait, so as they're walking to it, they get got. And you want to put the other one right there, so as they're leaving the bait, they get got. In fact, that one might be better right here. There we go. I like that a little bit better. And then we'll actually move the bait. We'll put the bait in the actual center of the two overlapping rings. And there we are. That's going to work swimmingly. And so he's dealt with, he's dealt with. This is the guy we're going to fight by hand, I think. Oh, they're all just normal wolves. For whatever reason, I thought there was a great wolf in here somewhere. I'm not really sure why. Now, this guy's going to be going down this way, so we can reasonably assume he's going to cut this corner. The enemy tends to cut corners, so if you're going to place these traps with limited range, you really, really, really want to put them at corners if you have nowhere else to put them. For this guy, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to find a spot where it's very, very, well, we may not be able to. I may just have to fight them by hand too. It's not something that I relish the thought of doing, but we could actually, God, this kind of sucks. Let's go ahead and take a look. They're probably going to cut this corner, we can reasonably assume. So we'll put that in right there. And if it doesn't work, it takes wolves a little while to kill buildings anyways, so it is what it is. We'll come down and fight this guy by hand maybe. And it looks like he actually is going to cut straight through the woods right there. I would prefer not to fight anybody by hand if I could help it, and just make this whole thing work how we want it to, but I suppose we've got AP to burn, so why not do it? Let's put another trap right there, just guarantee that we get the kill. I prefer to play a little bit more safely and close to the chest when I do hard mode. Now, I think we forgot about somebody, as I recall, in Wave 2, so let's go back here and figure out what we want to do with them. He's going this way, which means I could potentially put a ballistae right there, a ballistae or a ballista right here, and I think I could possibly get back in time like so to take the shot from there. He's going to be a little bit tougher just because of the way that he's approaching all this. These two right here, I think I can probably deal with him. He's really close to arriving, and so what I think I'll do is I'll give him a little bit of a runaround, not a large one though. Let me place my firewall. There we are. And so this firewall, we can put it up in here to save some AP. And that's going to force him to go around that way at least. And at bare minimum, let's throw that in right there. Just give him a little bit more of a run, just to give me some time to refocus after I kill him in the second wave, or the third wave? Yeah, the second wave. So let me run through one more time to make sure I know how this is going. So shout, explosive, bomb, kill. Run back down to here, fire a ballistae at him. Luckily, we have a tower that's going to take me straight on back, so we should be able to reposition quickly. After he's down, we're going to run back up in here and maybe showdown with all three of them, it looks like, which is fine. We have the magic axe, so it'll be okay. Here, we're going to zip back to here in between rounds and then fly over to here. We want our stink to be largely to the, oh, I don't know. Let's see, it looks like, let's just click through these kind of quickly and see where all the enemies are at. So we don't want it to the west for sure. We pretty much just kind of want it to the east early on, like the southeast maybe. And that should keep us safe. So the southeast will work. And so everything should be in place, I think. So let's go ahead and go to our inventory. We're going to allocate our skills for the day. And I'm actually going to take the, we can either do one of two things. Engineering, which is going to make our spike traps hurt things more, which is very, very tempting because this means it can kill a greater werewolf. One of the great wolves, I believe, with one spike. They have 50 HP, I think, and that allows them to be killed by a single grouping of spike traps. Very, very useful. The other thing we have to consider is we can make some more money if we take Lumberjacking 3, or we can increase the duration of our baits if we wanted to work our way up. We can increase the charges of our Dancy Booty Shaking tree if we really wanted to, but I don't really like that trap anyway, so I don't tend to use it. We can also get more HP, but I think that's an idea that all around is just going to be terrible. So I'm going to take the spike traps for now, I think, because we aren't using them at the moment, but at the same time, it's one of those upgrades that's very useful since the spike traps seem to be one of the ones that I favor. We have 6 alcohols left. We have more than enough cash. Let's go ahead and lumberjack the rest of the day away. And there we are. The day is jacked. And then we will go back to wave 1 and let's get ready to do this thing. So let's start the evening. Actually, let me make sure that my supplies are in order first and foremost. We'll go to town. I never like to do anything without looking in town first, just to make sure that my supplies are all kind of where they need to be. We're out of silver bullets almost, so let's go ahead and get ourselves some more silver bullets. 5 should be suitable. We can also go back to the town of Wolvesvale and see what they've got available, although I'm willing to bet they probably don't have much. Let's go to the general store, though, and we'll make sure nothing amazing has dropped in here. We can make ourselves sprint a little better with the fur boots, which is very tempting. I like the fur boots. I don't tend to buy them very often, though, but I think I will. I'm going to do something a little bit out of the ordinary for me now. So you get 25% longer sprint with that. I always find myself kiting and things of that nature anyway, so why not prepare for the future? The last thing I want to do is we're going to grab a couple of holy bullets, I think. And so let's go ahead and convert some of our normal bullets into holy bullets. 6 should be fine. I don't really think we're going to need a ton more than that. And then we'll go back and start the evening. And there it is. So let's do this thing, guys. I think this one is actually going to be fairly straightforward. Because everything is kind of segmented out in different steps, I don't really see there being a whole lot of problems in this one, but, you know, I could be completely wrong. I could be just absolutely wrong. So let's go ahead and first and foremost, we're going to put our wind down that way. And then we need to rocket our way over here to make sure that we're in position to light the explosives. Because Mycans do move pretty quickly, and they are in a position of advantage right now. They are probably going to be able to hit the log cabin before I get there, maybe? And so we've baited them, and now I'm going to fall back a tad, and then we'll just aim at the explosives. And so hopefully that last one gets here. I'd hate to have to deal with him the nasty way, but it is what it is. Okay, we'll kill a couple, and that one, I guess, saw me. I'm not really sure how that came to be, but, you know, the best laid plans. They tend to hurt a lot, and so I'd prefer to avoid... I don't know if the boots actually increase your stamina total, because I feel like I've got a little bit of extra oomph laid out for me. And if we really wanted to be proactive, we could kite him all the way back to the location where we need him in the next round, but I'm not gonna. And so he's remaining resistant and belligerent to all of our attacks. It is an unfortunate situation, but it's all we can do at the moment. So back in circles again we go. And where we stop, hopefully, is when he's dead as hell. It didn't rhyme, but it was utilitarian, alright? That's the best I could come up with while running in circles, praying not for death. That's the opposite of what most people do when they're in these situations, just praying for a quick death. This guy, I think he saw me, was the problem. Oh, and there he goes into rage mode, which means he gets a bunch of neat little divey attacks that are going to be super obnoxious to deal with. And then we've got to get back over here very quickly to deal with that Wendigo. So let's get up the tree here. And all the way back. Ooh, and I don't know, we're cutting it real close. God. This has the potential to really, really backfire on me. Oh, and there he is. Oh, no. Did I get him? Okay, I got him, but he triggered one of my bear traps, and that's going to be a problem later on. I'll have to keep that in mind. I think we prepared for most of the contingencies anyways, so let's get back over here. We'll fight these guys by hand. Not a big deal. All things considered, the plan is not going amazingly well. I was hoping to shoot him before he got that far, but one thing I'd forgotten about the mission is how quickly he was able to reposition himself, which is a problem. Magical Axe should allow us to make fairly quick work of these wisps, all things considered. God, go ahead and dive under, you weenie. And that wolf is going to be giving me a problem, I can tell already. I want to make sure that wisp dies, and then maybe kill him off. There we go. And so hopefully the wisp, there we go. He's going to miss his melee. I'm going to dodge his fireball, his little Hadouken, which is nowhere near as impressive as the Street Fighter one. But any Hadouken would be cooler than the Hadouken that I could perform, so whatever. And so now that he's down, I believe we had to get ourselves on over to the crazy man's hut. So let's do it. Let's go over to the crazy man's hut, see if we can get ourselves a little bit of crazy. And I'm actually wondering how I'm going to deal with the next wave with how things are going. It's going to be a little weird. And I believe this one is going to take me where I want to go. Mixing up your towers in this game, a terrible, terrible thing. If you mix up your towers, you're going to find yourself in a bit of trouble, believe me. So they're only one wolf to each location. I don't think we're going to come into too much fire. Like, we'll probably be okay. And now what we want to do is reposition our stink. The other thing is that if our stinker is up, we can actually reposition ourselves fairly efficiently with the stink as well, regardless of where everybody is. I think they all come from like a centralized location. I should have thought about that while I was planning out the mission, but I think if I stood somewhere around the church and I did a circular stink motion, I think we would have been okay. But let me drink an alcohol while we're here because I just noticed my health is a little low. We're also missing a bullet, so why not take care of that while we wait for these guys to take the long walk to our position? Now, I don't want to use my shout. I could speed up this situation by shouting. I could also speed up the situation by stinking just as ambitiously as possible. However, because I might need those for this final round, just to make sure that things go, the fourth round isn't going to be so bad because the fourth is more or less taken care of, I think. Everything is coming here in the fourth round, so I'm not really worried about it. But with the fifth round, I want to save the stink in case things go wrong so I can stink all the wolves to myself and then just slap them about the face, head, back, neck, ears, and shoulders with my axe. And it looks like we've got about, maybe 25 seconds. I don't really like it when they put together... Sometimes they put together rounds like this where you just kind of have to stand there. I could use my stink to draw them a little quicker. Let me see if I can get them stunk so that they move faster, so that they feel more inclined to close the gap with me. There we go. And so what I'll do now is I'll come back over here, and hopefully they'll re-pick up my stink. There it is. Good, good, good. And once they arrive, I'm going to trigger this bad boy. And so let's trigger the cross. Dodge the huge hail of fireballs that's incoming. And we're going to go ahead and use our Hadouken as best as possible. And there goes that entire round. So we did well. That actually went very, very well. Now we want to keep our stink where it's at, maybe. And I can set up slightly to the southeast of this trap in this little inlet over here. And what I like about the Wayward Cross is that it really prevents them from diving underground. And I think that's what the developers had in mind. I find that the Will-o'-the-Wisps do a great job at diving underground if I don't have myself a Wayward Cross to prevent them from doing so. Every time I use a Wayward Cross, never have to worry about it, but the moment I don't use one, they always dive underground, and then I'm just in a world of excrement. And so let's wait here. We're going to have to wait for all of these to get baited back to one another, but I like to play it safe rather than living on the edge with this game, because replaying a mission in this game, redoing all the planning and everything like that, it makes you feel intellectually inferior. It's depressing to fail a mission in this game and be like, well, if I had to save my sister from werewolves, in any case, it would have turned out terribly. And the moment they close on this barrel, kaboomy, or shazowie, as I'm known to say on this channel here and there, which is weird because I never use that phrase ever in real life. I've never once said shazowie ever until I started Let's Playing. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to say shazowie. That's what I'm going to say to express my excitement at explosives and other amazing things happening. And they should be able to whittle their way through that bait pretty quickly. And here they come, I think. Is it down? No, not quite yet. I wish that the little indicator that pointed the direction that the bait is being devoured actually told you how long you had until the bait was finished, but maybe that would be too much. They're going to close with this barrel. Hopefully they don't interfere with my shot. And there we are. And did we get them all? No, we missed that last one in the back, but that's okay. Not that worried about it. We'll shoot him with a holy bullet right in the face. There we are. And then the final thing we'll do is just beat him down, because we don't care if the universe says that he's great. We don't think so. I mean, he might be a great werewolf, but he is not a great friend. He is a terrible friend. And so down he goes, and I don't remember exactly where I wanted to set up for this next part, so you'll give me a moment here while I pause. And 2 traps there. Do I have a trap for him? I do not. And so unfortunately, I think our plan's going to be to deal with this guy as rapidly as possible, then head back to the house and take care of business there. And so we've got one guy down right there. One guy down right there. I'm going to head back to the house now because I don't see that other wolf that's popping in. Hopefully those 2 wolves down there run into these traps. It would be very unfortunate if they did not. Luckily, he seems to be stuck on the bait, so that's going to work out just fine. I can actually presumably take a shot from here and handle him. And so let's set up on the tower here, snipey style. And bango, we got him. And so now I think I have to head back to the Hermit's cottage, actually, because it looks like they missed both traps. They missed both traps. And so I'm actually going to shout to get them rounded out, and I think they're the last two that we have to deal with. It would probably be smarter for me to get the hell out of the way for these. Although I don't really want to take any chances with the hut here, but, you know, shoot you. And now that he's down, we'll go ahead and deal with the other one, and that should be the end of the mission. And so, while we wasted those traps over here, they didn't cut the corners quite as much as I thought they would, so in any case, the wolf traps are a little sketchy. I should have used another bait right there, but we would have made less money. Everything's fine to begin with. We don't have to pay money to repair our buildings or anything like that, so life is good. On our butcher's bill, it appears as though we made 1,000 XP and $4.27. In a past episode, you'll notice that I said that I didn't know why they give you XP. Well, I found out if you fail a mission, you still get the XP for every part of the mission that you complete, so eventually you can just out-level the mission if you're having a lot of trouble. I don't like to do that, but we made a lot of money today. We're at $9.35, which back then was a grip of cash, and we're in a good spot. The game is still going to keep ramping up, but we're going to keep trying to keep ourselves variable, just stick and jab as best as possible, and I'll see you guys next time. So my name's Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle. Take care out there, everybody.